Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well. From wherever you're watching this channel, I want us to quickly delve into a statement that Jane Kihara released.
And you know, our work is traveling and includes even moving around at night. So, Mr. President, please, give me back my security officer or my bodyguard. I'm a very small person.
Jane Kihara is a Naivasha member of parliament, and she has accused President William Ruto of using security forces to frustrate political allies of Rigathi Gachagua. This happened after the security of Jane Kihara was withdrawn. You know, members of parliament, according to the constitution, are entitled to security. Now, that security of Jane Kihara was withdrawn. And that explains the reason why Jane Kihara ended up telling William Samoei Ruto that she feels naked.
I feel so vulnerable now. I feel so naked.
You know, members of parliament go to interior, remote places, try to access the people, talk to constituents, especially now that it's approaching the electioneering period. They will always want to go to the remote areas. Now, they can't do that without security. That is why the constitution has guaranteed members of parliament security. So, based on a statement from Jane Kihara, that security had been withdrawn. At the time I was doing this video, that was around 5:38 p.m., the security had not been reinstated. So in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to focus on this development, because Jane Kihara is saying that should anything happen to me, Dr. Ruto, you are to blame. We sat many times even with Gachagua, and you said that you'd never use security forces for political reasons. And it is exactly what you are doing. That is one of the statements which she made. So we are going to explore some of these statements. And an honest question, ladies and gentlemen, do you think the president is afraid of these members of parliament allied to Rigathi Gachagua? Do you think he's afraid? Do you think the president is trying to do everything possible to contain Mount Kenya? Because, you know, most of these people complain are from Mount Kenya. Do you think it's his intention to weaken those members of parliament so that the parliamentarians allied to him can benefit from that mess? Just go below in the comment section and you can tell us what you think about this development. So before we get further on this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, kindly take this opportunity, go below there and like this video. By the way, that is the only way you support the work of our channel. Also subscribe to our channel if you're not subscribed before, and to our existing subscribers, I want to continue thanking you so much, because without you this channel wouldn't have grown. Now, in an about 2 minutes video that I'm going to share shortly, Jane Kihara is reminding William Samoei Ruto of the pre-election promises, you know, and I'm talking about things like not using security organs to frustrate opponents. Of course, I'm one of those people who used to follow the campaigns of William Ruto, and I can attest that he promised that he was not going to do to use security to frustrate his opponent. That I remember William Samoei Ruto, the president, making us a promise. Now, whether it is his call to have Jane Kihara's security withdrawn, or it's just a normal routine of police sometimes when they want to maybe recall their security, maybe do retraining and redeployment. If that is the case, if the issue is about redeployment, maybe you can say that that is the case. But as of now, what has come from Jane Kihara's mouth ni kwamba she is being frustrated, and the main reason for her frustration is because of her allegiance to Rigathi Gachagua. You know, we all know that Rigathi launched his party, DCP. And the majority of these members of parliament in UDA, some of them who are in Mount Kenya, have vowed to wholly be behind DCP. That means they are going to resign from their party and join DCP. You know, that DCP is a party which Rigathi Gachagua launched, I think, a week ago. You all saw that launching, but I think there's going to be another launch whereby I think the likes of Eugene Omalwa and other members of other members of the opposition are going to be invited, Kalonzo Musyoka included. You know, they are going to grace that occasion. It's going to be, I think, according to Rigathi Gachagua, it's going to be one kind of a launch, but that's going to happen sometime later. So now, Jane Kihara, I'm going to ask you again. Do you think Ruto is afraid of these members of parliament in Mount Kenya? Mind you, some of these members of parliament won their elections because of UDA. You know, they won the elections because UDA was the party and Mount Kenya were wholly behind William Ruto. So that explains why they won overwhelmingly and Jubilee lost. So in Mount Kenya, Jubilee lost, UDA won majority of the seats in Mount Kenya. And that explains why Ruto used to go to Mount Kenya kila saa. The main reason was because alifeel kwamba Mount Kenya walisimama naye 100%. Not for him, what he needed to do was to just return that favor. Ndio aonekane kwamba kweli akona shukurani. So that's the main reason why these members of parliament won those seats, and it explains why in Mount Kenya, yeah, huko ndio mahali ambapo mawaziri ni wengi, parastatal head ni wengi. Let me just take you through some of these sentiments from Jane Kihara. It's not a laughing matter, but it's sometimes when you remember these pledges, you know, when you remember how politicians wanadanganya wananchi, you find yourself actually laughing. I mean, sometimes hata utakulia, maybe hata uko na mambo mengi sana kusumbua akili, but you find yourself laughing. Why? When you remember these promises which the members of parliament, which politicians make, and then they fail to honor, and then they twist those promises ili onekana kwamba wewe ndiye haukuelewa. So let me just summarize some of the statements that you've heard from that video. Like there's one here. It says, if you're going to use security to finish or to frustrate friends of Gachagua, it is all in vain. And I don't think you will be very far. You will go very far. Being a friend to Gachagua is not a crime. I'm not a baby or a fool. I'm somebody who can make their own decision. Like I did when I was supporting Dr. Ruto, I was all over the country campaigning for him, and when he exited from Jubilee. Okay, so she was trying to remind people about Ruto when he had exited Jubilee, and she's also reminding people about how she campaigned for President Ruto, you know, for, let's say, Dr. Ruto to become the president. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have seen that statement from Jane Kihara. Now, Jane Kihara, yeye hakumpeach Rigathi Gachagua. She is not one of those people who impeached Rigathi Gachagua. It's not like Gloria Orwaba who impeached Rigathi Gachagua, who participated in the impeachment. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this development, about Jane Kihara's predicament? Just go below the comment section and you can tell us. So perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.